Welcome to Bishop Aquatics. This is part 2 of our video where we're talking about our outdoor setup. In this part of the video we're going to talk about the construction. As stated before, we have 4 100-gallon Rubbermaid tubs. This was our original plan for outside, just 4 tubs, and in between the tubs we wanted to put flowers, garden, vegetables, that type of thing, and then siphon the water, as water changes, and water the vegetables. I've always liked the idea of using the fish water again and growing your vegetables. I like, in a sense, hydroponics, but not that elaborate, in a more basic way. And that worked very successfully. Part 2, we brought aquariums from inside and we set them up. And if you looked at our video tour of last summer, we had a setup right here on this rack, a 40-gallon tank, a 20-gallon tank, and some other tanks right here. We had the a 29-gallon tank here, a 29-gallon tank there, and a 29-gallon tank there. That just didn't work that well this summer, the algae and situation, so we replaced those with tubs. So now we have 20 outdoor tubs. All their tubs are on stands. We've used concrete cement blocks and either 4x4s or 4x6 blocking. This gives me a height of around 30 inches right to my waist that I can work on the fish without bending way down to the ground. So including the 100 gallons, everything is on blocks. The second feature of our thing, let's talk about the water. Our water supply comes into the house and I have triple filters. I have 2 carbon filters and a sediment filter. From that branch we've tied it in and we've come out here and we've got a shutoff valve. We've got an anti-siphon valve. And around the corner, see, we've built in another charcoal filter. This eliminates all need for taking the chlorine out of the water. This right here is the bottom is our water line. From the water line we've taken 1/4-inch hoses, and each tub has an individual valve so that we can fill up each tub individually. That's a great labor saver. So the reason I wanted to do that is because for water changes, as we showed, we just take the overflow, turn it down, and that siphons it down to whatever level you want to bring the water down. I've put them all at about 50% level, so I can take a 50% water change. If I want to go further than that, I just take a siphon hose and siphon it out. Now, with the water changes complete, I bring the pipe back up, and then turn on the water. And I can go as fast or as slow as I want. I don't have to worry about issues. Now the only issue we do have is in the summertime, the water actually comes out, the cold water actually comes out of the tap at 110 degrees. So it's very bad. You can't pour 110 degrees water into your tub. So what you do is we fill them very slowly and have the fans running, so you really don't have a water effect on the water. But we don't do as many water changes in the summertime. It's very difficult with the heat. So let me turn this off. Anyway, so we have water lines going down the entire line. Now originally I put in where I wanted hose bibs, 4 hose bibs, because again I didn't have all the tubs, and I thought, well, I want to be able to hook a hose every 10 feet. But those went away when we added all the tubs, and now we just have individual water lines coming to the tubs. That's pretty self-explanatory, but it doesn't make it easy. That's a really easy feature. You're not dragging around a hose, and that saves your back, and that's basically the deal with water changes. That's phase one of the water changes. Phase two is, again, I talked about all the tubs are drilled halfway down, but where does the water go? Well, that really is the essence of what the whole outdoor system goes. Because behind this, I'll show you here, we have a drainage system. See, the tubs are going into a 1.5 inch line that turns into a 2 inch line. And everything's hooked into a sewer line that goes outside into a 50-gallon holding tub, which is not enough. So I'm still refining that issue. I need to build probably 100 gallons, 250-gallon tubs to collect the water. I take that water with another sump pump with a garden hose, and then I hose and water my garden with that. So now I'm watering my garden with all this wonderful fish water, which really, that was why I built the whole tub and aquaponics. My version of aquaponics is right there. The second thing I did was build the air pump. This is just the largest, I don't even know what brand this is, but this is just off Amazon.com, the largest brand of this pump you can get. We hook it into a 1/2 inch pipe, PVC pipe, and we use the self-tapping. We use these self-tapping air lines. So we just take a drill, we drill that in, and then that drill taps into the pipe, and from that we can hook into our air line. Now, I'm not really, the airline does two things. It does I have an air stone in each tub. Some tubs have two, but that's also our filtration system. So we're just simply using simple sponge filters. And that's our filtration. Again, we set it up with balanced tanks. So we use snails, scuds, Cory catfish as an ecosystem, and then the sponge filters, and then the water changes. So that's our growing philosophy. So now we have the air, and that's all set up all the way down. Then our third utility is electrical. Electrical is an issue. I'm not an electrician, and it will show on this video. Originally, we ran a line from the junction box all the way in, and because again, I only had 4 tubs, so I put in 10 plugs. I thought, well, 10 plugs for 4 tubs is more than enough. 10 plugs for 20 tubs is not enough. It worked good with this one line until last winter we put in the heaters, and all the watts, 300 watt heaters in tubs, was just too many wattage for that line. So now we had to run a second line. So now we have 2 lines running from the junction box. And even now that I have 20 tubs, that wasn't enough. So I did run some, that's why it looks a little sloppy right now. We ran some extension cords around to take care of some spare heaters. But it's a 30-day fix. So we're gonna get that set up. But it's I could have taken all that down and made it look like I'm doing everything perfect. But we're a work in progress. But now during the summertime, the electrical is just perfectly fine because the blowers are low wattage, and they do not take much electricity. It's not like I'm spending hundreds of dollars cooling the water. They're very efficient. It was strictly 20 tubs times 300 watt heaters is 6,000 watts. Well, that takes a lot of electricity, and I didn't plan on that. Now, what is our other? Oh, I've been teasing about my slop sink, but a slop sink outside is almost essential. I dump all the brine shrimp from inside here. I mean, it's just so nice not dumping all the fish stuff, and that also goes into the recycle water bin. But anyway, I did. Oh, one more other issue is we set everything up, and then we were looking how lovely everything was, and the birds were coming in and drinking from the water, and like, oh, isn't that cute? Till one day I looked out here, and this big bird had a koi guppy in his mouth. I go, that's the end of that. So then we had to go in and get bird cloth, and we had to enclose the entire patio with bird cloth to keep the birds out, because they like the patio too. But anyway, that's the basic setup, the basic tour. What's really nice about the tubs is they're all self-sufficient. You know, I mean, what I mean by self-sufficient, I'm not dragging a hose around. It's strictly, I can change all 20 tub water at the very same time. I just go around, dump the pipe down, change all the water, go around, turn all the valves on, fill up all the tubs. When they're filled, turn them off. I mean, maybe a 30-minute job. Filtration, you know, you clean the sponge filters once a week. That's not very much. That's about a 1 hour, hour and a half job. And that's basically it. We do come out here and we collect babies and we bring them inside, and that's the fun part. You know, you get in here and you play with your fish, and what's really nice is the water's 80 degrees, 75 degrees. That one's 80 degrees. So it's like you're playing in tropical fish, in tropical water all day long. But these are a lot of fun. I did want to mention on the other video, I forgot to say, on this one tub, we have plecos, bristlenose plecos. And they have not bred. They're very disappointing. There's one. But they got a heaven here. They got their little caves, and I put a lot of wood in here, and they're in here with the Still Nebula. But anyway, I thought you might want to get a look of, you can do tubs, you can do them basic, or you can do them where you can, enjoy them like an aquarium. The one thing you do want to do is have plenty of plant cover, and you don't want to put them in direct light. If you have one in direct light, the algae is just going to eat you alive. So you do want to do a subdued light. We use a 90% shade cloth. So basically, we don't want to have any direct light coming in. But anyway, I hope this inspires somebody. Not only to have an individual tub, which is really cool, and then you can decorate them and go to Rachel O'Leary's site and put all kinds of things in there, and you can put aquaponics in there and raise your vegetables directly in the water, and you can do all kinds of things with a single tub, or you can put a batch of tubs out. Obviously you can't do it in Minnesota, but you can certainly do it in Texas, in Louisiana, and Alabama, and California. And this is just the side of my house. 20 tubs. The heart of our farm. Well, thanks for watching Bishop Aquatics. Come back and check out our individual fish tanks and check out our website.